Hello once again. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Al, and this is a part of a tutorial series on C++. And if you haven't been here before, you will find the link to the entire list in the video description. Now, the title of this video should be, or at least should include, the last final word on main and Argv and Argc and all that stuff. Because you will notice here that I have one more thing to add, and that is the following. This here program, not this program, to tray is this program I have, which it's in my path, that it puts something in system tray. You know, okay, here's a window. It has some text in it. It has, in particular, has the text line 2. Let's see. Okay, I found that window and I put it in the system tray. But putting things in the system tray, of course, is very handy because now it's no longer in this list and bother me. You know, sometimes I'm looking for something and there's so many of these windows around that I have trouble finding where I want to be. And so I like to put things in system tray. What does this say? It says uploads. Now there's only this many things to look through. Maybe I was looking for that. Maybe not. The hard part about this one is you can't tell what the title is, but you can tell here, music. Now I've only got 3 things to search through. Actually only 2 because there is this desktop. I wonder if I put the desktop in the system tray. Here we go. No. But anyway, that's a wonderful thing to have. And you might think that this to-tray program that I wrote, which is actually a replacement for this thing, which has a fancy list and everything, which responds to a hotkey, doesn't always work, for one thing. Because, see, the way the hotkey works is it's a link. It's on my desktop, but I've hidden it because I don't want to see it. I just want the hotkey. The hotkey works. But if for any reason suppose Explorer died. And we got no more Explorer. Well, it's certainly not going to work now. But when I start Explorer up again, you'd think it might work, but in fact it doesn't. I'm going to press the hotkey, Control Alt, finish doing its thing. Thing's done. Press Control Alt X and it's not working. Why? Because when Explorer loaded, it didn't find that link on the desktop. It was hidden. Right? So now in those scenarios I can unhide it, and then I can but unhiding it and restarting Explorer only sometimes catches it. That doesn't always work. Sometimes I gotta run it, then I gotta change the hotkey, something else, change it back. It's a big hassle. Also, the two-tray thing takes as the default the current command box. Okay, so that allows me to start up another command box very quickly. Right, so I can have two. Now, this is a Windows program. It starts out with WinMain. There's no console. You could try running it from one of these Explorer window things. By the way, the one that I had in here died, and it's no longer listed in here, which is another feature that is good. Something I added anyway to if a thing dies, then remove it from the tray. I don't know what this one's called, but I suppose it's probably called source root. Doesn't even tell you. The only way to find out is to look here, source root. Okay, so now that's all fine and wonderful, except there are certain programs. This is one of them. This is another one that have more than one top-level window associated with them. So I don't have my thing, but I can get it this way. You'll notice that this thing's got two top-level windows. And that's why I have this little checkbox here, which is remembered that if I wanted to hide this thing, it's going to do both, or all the top-level windows. Oh, I got a warning message. Oh, nothing. Thank you. Bye. Yeah, and then of course I got to bring them all back. Bring it back again. Okay, so I also would like to have that functionality with this. So that means I want to add a switch, not just a string to search for, but a switch. And I do have a switch called A, and that means include all top-level windows. And this thing is called something downloading, and you'll see it's gone. If I didn't include the /A switch, you see part of it went there, but there's still this thing sitting here, and it's not really doing anything, but it's in the list here, and I can't select it or anything. It's just a bothersome thing, so I need to /A and get rid of it. Now, notice that I can put that there. And what I'm using, believe it or not, is my old friend TS command line. It turns out that for a Windows program, and only for Unicode, there's a function that converts the command line passed in, which you can retrieve by calling this function. Whether this is but the program itself is ANSI or Unicode or not, I can still call this function, and it gives you a number of arguments, and it turns it into an Argv, Argc type thing. Okay. Now that means that I can now employ my I can get away from WinMain and just use a main type thing. I don't want to use one of my reserved words, so I call it con main. And just declare it this way, taking variable number of arguments. Now my thing, if you recall, expects that 3 things will have been pushed on the stack. 1, a count. 2, a pointer to an array of pointers to strings, multibyte or wildcard depending on the environment, and a pointer to another pointer of strings, null terminated environment strings. Okay, now the first part, as far as Unicode is concerned, is done. I can call this function, it does this parsing, and and that's the end of that part. This is sort of separate. In fact, let me put this down here. I can't. There's nowhere further down for me to put it. Sorry. Okay, so I've got this Argv. Now, the problem is, what if it's not Unicode? What if it's ANSI? So I made a little, I quickly threw together a class that takes in, it has an add string function, takes a wildcard string, converts it to multibyte, right, and adds that to an array of pointers. I don't know if I can F11 on that, so I can find it. It only applies in the case of multibyte, which I could switch to, I guess. So this builds me an Argv list in a multibyte format. So what does it do? It allocates this many strings, right? Set it all to 0, and then actually it should allocate one more. Really, I'm going to do that right now. Because I also expected this to be a null terminated array, even though you can use Argc to walk through. It turns out that in a console program, it's null terminated. So this is set to 0, so the last element will be 0, a null pointer. Okay, and then I'm using my, fancy an auto macro for everything. This is no longer necessary. I don't think it should be necessary. Oh, it is. At this point, I think it's necessary. at the end of this, there's a using namespace. You might think, well, what's the point of declaring a namespace? You know, a namespace. All that does is it adds like sometimes I put a TS in front. There's an automatic C++ thing that does that, and it uses double colons to separate the namespace from the name. So that means you could have two functions referenced by exactly the same name, but in one namespace it has one meaning, and in another namespace it has another meaning, and so on. But the main purpose is if somebody ever wanted to use this lib, I don't want to take away from them the opportunity to create a function with this name, right? Put them in a namespace, but for my purposes, I don't care about the namespace. So I have to say that I'm assuming it, but it's somebody else who included this lib will not have this line, and there won't be any conflicts. All right. So in that case, I can convert my RVW that I got from here into an Argv, and then the last argument is a pointer to strings, again well-terminated environment. And getting the environment strings is as easy as this step. You call a function, it returns a pointer. Okay, it returns a pointer to T cards. All of them null terminated, and then a final null. Okay, so it's a list of pointers, and the last pointer in the list is null. What I want to do is turn that into an array of pointers. Right? See, this thing is not an array of pointers. It's the actual strings that are null terminated. And then a final string that's empty. You call this function, and then now I'm walking through it until I hit a null pointer. At every point along this string, you have a pointer to a string, right? So star of this is a pointer to string, and if that pointer is null, I quit. No. So this is a pointer to string. So and the last string is empty. So this is a character value. Star of that is a character value, not a string value. All right. Now I happen to know, because I've been printing it out recently. Maybe I can go here for a minute. A real console program. Just run up to here. What did I change? Did I alter something? I did. Oh yeah, I added the one extra. Okay. In the common init, I'm printing out the environment strings using exactly this same method. Walking through. except the first couple of them are special ones that I don't know what they mean, so I want to skip them. They're not part of the normal environment, although they are part of the returned value from this. But they're not the ones passed into main. The list of strings passed, the list of pointers to strings passed into main starts with this value. You'll notice that command rule here, NP, the first element is all users profile, and that's this one. So now there are these ones that start with an equal sign are skipped. So I want to skip them too. So you reproduce the same thing. So if it starts with an equal sign, if it starts with an equal sign, I go to the next. I don't do the add. What I'm doing is I've created an array of pointers to string, special array class, and when I when one of these strings doesn't start with an equal sign, I add it to my array. To get to the next string, I just take the strlen where I currently am and add 1. Okay, and eventually I'll hit 0. Now that creates an array. Then I add a null pointer to the end. Null terminate the array. And I'm calling this T environment. Why? That's what they call it, T environment. So I'm calling it T environment. And that's just the data element of this TS array, which is an array of pointers. I've been adding pointers, right? Pointers to strings to the array. Nothing's been allocated other than the array part. I'm not allocating any strings. I'm just setting pointers. We're not in the same project, but I can go back there. No, it doesn't matter if we're in Unicode or not. I just need this because the TS, I want to use my magic command line thing, and it expects 3 things, not 2. So here's the environment thing. Let's see, 27C something. Okay. And this is just a list of pointers. The first one's 3A003D. Well, let's read that. 3A003D. Oh no, these are the strings. Sorry, that's the thing. I don't want the strings. I want the pointers to the strings. Okay. So we have something. It's an equal sign. So let's skip past one strlen. Okay. Now I'm on this string. No good. I'm on this string. No good. No good. Okay, now it's not an equal sign. So this string is all users profile equals that. Now I'm adding that string to an array class. And that's just a light wrapper, a very shallow wrapper around a single pointer. Notice I fixed the output to make it look nicer. It has 40 elements out of a possible 41. And here's the data. Okay, so now these are pointers. 27 CCAC. Is that string in Unicode at the moment? So it's a Unicode string. The next pointer is 27 CCEA. That's data. See? Now, T environment then is exactly the format it's supposed to be in. So go up to name and I can create one of my command line things. Here's my command line thing. And it uses a list for the environment and Argvs and switches. It has a switch. It's doing all the same stuff as before. So I get all the advantages of having Argv, Argc from a console program in a Windows program. So that means that my Windows program, I can treat it like a console program, even though it doesn't allocate its own console ever. It uses the current console this way. If you call attach console and free console right away, you're okay. You're not in trouble. But otherwise, some weirdo things happen. Well, it's not so bad. Attach console. Okay, if there is a console, if the parent process has a console, then you can attach yourself to that console and use like printf and so on if you want it. And at the end, you're supposed to detach. And this is how you detach from it, like that. But all I want to know, in the case where there's only Argc is 1, that means nothing is applied, because now it's a regular console program. All I want to do is find out the handle to console, and that is going to be equal to the one handle to window I want to hide. I don't know why I need this variable. Do I need it? I might need it somewhere else. Maybe not. It's easy to find out. Yes. So if the thing I want to hide is not equal to the console, now what do I do? See, initially all I wanted to do was be able to hide the current console. But what if I don't want to hide this console? I want to hide another window. Initially, all I was doing was taking that HLens that I had and calling, sending a hide message, right? And creating a window. Actually, initially it was a dialogue, then I changed it to one of these window things because I can start a window without it being visible. You can start a window invisible. We'll say start. Somewhere in here I started as oh, here we go. See, I hide the window, I create the window, hide it, call update, and then go into a message room. So you never see a little box appear anywhere. So that's the name of the class, is that. I create an instance of that class. I hide it. Now putting something in the sys tray is another story. I could explain that in the next video. All I wanted to point out is that if you don't like this interface, you can go through all these steps exactly as you see them here. Well, except you don't know what this is. It's just another auto releasing thing, right? Whatever's passed in here, the pointer passed in, LH means local heap. Local free is called when this object goes out of scope. Just like every other object, same as this thing. Any class that allocates memory, when they go out of scope, they tend to freeze the memory, unless it's a smart pointer or something. So that's it. So now that's the last final word on main, Argv, and all that. You can use it all the time, even for your Windows program. And here's an example. I can bring them back. Here they are. Now I got a great big mess to deal with. No problem. Okay. Next, I guess I'd like to go through the rest of this program because it has a few interesting things. This adding to the system tray is another one of those only need to do it once type problems. It involves the use of something called register window message, which everyone should know about. And this is a special name that has to do with the taskbar, or the system tray. I don't know why they call it taskbar. Oh, that's this. Sorry, that's this part is called the taskbar. When that thing is created, a global message, and that's what this is about. A global message is registered on the system, and this is the interface to accessing a global message. And I'll explain all that, and I'll explain how to add an icon to here, and how to get rid of it, and that's it. Okay, see you.